everybody, Natalie Willis, the baby sleep trainer, here to talk about the dreaded sleep regression. Sleep regression is a term that's thrown around a lot and encompasses a lot of different things that could be happening. Maybe your child is going through a physical or a developmental milestone and it's waking them up at night. Maybe they have an illness or a tooth. Maybe your child is waking up crying, you're picking them up, they stop crying and you still can't identify what's wrong or what's upsetting them. Maybe they're smiling once you pick them up and you're like, why are you awake? Again, why are you awake? Multiple times at night. But sleep regression almost always talks about disrupted nighttime sleep or occasionally shorter naps or missed naps, things like that. So I kind of have the same protocol for how to deal with any kind of sleep disruption that occurs at night, whether it's a sleep regression or whether it's illness or whatever. And the protocol is enter the room, pick up your child, check on them, identify what's wrong, address what's wrong, put them down awake. But let's go back to address what's wrong because this is really kind of the lengthy, meatier answer. And addressing what's wrong might mean identifying whether or not they have a tooth that's erupting, or maybe they have a fever or they have an illness. Maybe it looks like they've had a bad dream. Whatever it might be, you need to do whatever you need to do to deal with that problem. So you have to figure out what's wrong and then go to reasonable measures to address it. That might mean that you're spending quite a bit of time with your child overnight until you've resolved what's wrong. Maybe they're ill and you have called your doctor's hotline and they've said to administer some type of fever reducing medication, and maybe you do that and then you stay with them 30 minutes or longer, and then they're awake and you're kind of hanging out with them, and then their fever breaks, they seem to be doing a little bit better. Great. Once you've addressed what's wrong, the key here, if your child is sleep trained and already falling asleep independently, probably something I should have said at the beginning, but if your child is already sleep trained and they're having a regression, you follow that protocol. You always culminate with putting them down awake and allowing them to fall back to sleep independently. If you allow a sleep regression to be a time when you begin to assist your child to sleep, once they are already independent sleepers, you can check out all my other videos to kind of figure out what sleep training is and what it means for a child to be an independent sleeper. But if your child already is one and they have a sleep regression or disruption to their sleep, if you begin to assist them to sleep again, you will need to sleep train them again. It's very simple. In fact, the only time families have to sleep train over and over again is when they decide to begin to assist their child to sleep again. Let's say your child is not an independent sleeper and they have a sleep regression. You're just going to address that and help them fall back to sleep the same way that you help them fall asleep for their naps and at bedtime. Although oftentimes children will be assisted to sleep for naps and bedtime. It won't be ideal, but perhaps mom or dad, let's say mom doesn't really care that much, it's not that big of a deal, and their child is sort of going along okay, and then a sleep regression hits, and now they go from waking, say, once or twice to waking up multiple times at night. That's usually a time when you want to think about sleep training. People know a lot about sleep training nowadays, and so if that's something that overwhelms you or you're not sure about what method to pick or whatever, maybe you've watched all my videos and you think, okay, this seems like the baby sleep trainer method seems like a good method. You can check out my online programs on babysleeptrainer.com, and there are links below. I'm certainly kind of to help you through that process, but sleep regressions will often trigger families to decide to finally take the plunge and sleep train. Please like this video. Absolutely be sure to subscribe to babysleeptrainer.com, and I will see you next time.